What? I'm working from home. I don't want to do a video today. No, I don't want to. No, I'm not talking about it. No. Fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, God. Fine. I love Cthulhu. Look at him. He's attacking, I don't know, monsters and shit. I've already made a video about how I like it. Most games are kind of in the +1, like on the positive side, if it's just Cthulhu, and if your art looks good, and you got dice, I love it. But, today, we're talking about a game that I have owned for almost 5 years, and have not played once. And sometimes whenever you play a game that you haven't played ever, it's been sitting in your closet, you're like, oh, this could be the one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the one. Chaos of Cthulhu, a game by Imp House and... Wait a minute. Are you serious? Darth Rimmer is a game in which you and some of your friends and or family are going to be rolling some dice to make some dice do things. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? It does. At the very beginning of the game, what everyone is going to do is they're going to take the chunkiest dice you ever seen in a long time, and they're going to give them a little tickle. They're going to cup them. They're going to mine the shaft, and they're going to don't forget the tickles, and then you drop them, and they're going to have numbers and symbols on them, and they're all going to be a part of an ancient thingamajig. They're going to be a head, a body, 2 wiggly arms, and then whatever a butt is. And you're going to put that little T in front of you, and that is going to be your monster. Ladies and gentlemen, the goal of the game is to summon some kind of a monster by matching all of the things on there, although it's a little confusing if I'm supposed to get it all the way up to level 6, or if I can get it to level 1, or if I can match any of them. It's the rule book. We'll talk, okay, we're chaos. We're all over the place. Let's just talk about the game. You make your dude, and then on your turn, you're gonna put your little privacy screen up, and you're gonna take your summoning stones, and you're gonna roll them. And those summoning stones are gonna have numbers like pips, because they're dice, that's what they do. And you're gonna match those numbers to the numbers on your little monstery thingy in front of you, and depending on how you match them will depend on what you can do. There are 4 actions, and 4 actions only in this game. I hope you like them, because there's only 4. Action number 1, attack. What you do is you attack the person to your left. They get to pick where they attack, and to take a damage, you pick one of your dice and you take it down a number. If they get all the 1s, then they die, and that's the end of that. If they get all 6s, well then you win, because you have to get all of a number, and You can attack, or you can madness. This is a little yellow brain icon, and this means you can pick anyone at the table and attack any part of their beastie. Easy. Or you can heal. You put the little heal icon on whichever doodly you want to heal, and then you just pip that up. Easy peasy. Or you can block, which is just kind of a generic anything, anyone that wants to attack you, go, no, I do not take that, and then you block it and it's that. And that's everything you're gonna do on every turn, every turn, every turn. All right, let's talk about some things that I like. Some things that I actually love. The reason why I bought the game in the first place is this art is fantastic. It has a very Mike Mignola Hellboy vibe, and that's what I like very much about it. The art is wonderful. Thing 2 I like. Look at this fucking rule book. This is the rule book. It's awesome. And it has a little player thing on the back, other things you can do. You roll, you choose, you declare, you resolve, and whenever you're rolling your summoning stones or your dice and everyone's selecting their actions, that's all done simultaneously, which is very nice. And the dice are really cool. Here's all the little different shits that you can make. So if I get all of them to there, and they all have different symbols and etc. What else do I like about the game? Components are nice. Oh, it comes with a cool little comic book at the beginning. It tells you what you're doing. Yay, you want to summon. Look how cool it is. I wouldn't mind reading an actual comic book. It's really nice. Things I don't like about the game. Let's talk about escalation. This is something we haven't talked about in a lot of games. The game that I remember talking about it the most is in a game called Everdell. This is where at the beginning of the game, you're going to start kind of slow. And you're like, okay. And then it speeds up, it speeds up, it speeds up. And by the end of the game, you're doing these big, wonderful, chunky turns. And it's wonderful. So the idea that your first turn is going to be areas of magnitude. What is it? Something's of magnitudes less than your last turn is what really drives the game. A sense of progression, a sense of escalation. What you do not want is for your first turn to be the same as your last turn, because that leaves you with a feeling of, is that it? I guess I won. Okay. And no one wants that. People want that sense of escalation, that Rise of Tribes feeling where I start with something so little and I built this wonderful tableau of all of these things. It's the sense of growth. Chaos of the Cthulhu's is a game in which your first turn is the same as your second, third, fourth, fifth, and ladies and gentlemen, I will be very honest when we do our housekeeping. We have it for 2 to 4 players. I have put off playing this game for so long because I feel like it's a game about attacking each other, and if you play it with 2, it's going to be me attacking you, and that's not fun. So we played it with 4 players, played it with the family, and we'll get to that. 35 minutes. We played this game, and it was over an hour. And the thing about doing the same thing over and over again is, unless it's going then I don't want to be doing the same thing for over an hour. I don't want to do the same much of anything over an hour, even when I want to watch a movie. The first minute is different than the 60 minute. And if you haven't picked it up by minute 60, the fuck out of here. And 10 and up, who the fuck cares? So here's the deal. Admittedly, we played this game incorrectly. I believe, I don't know where I got it in my head that the point of the game was to match all the sides of your person to be the most maximum thing it could be. So all 6, which is almost impossible. I think it is impossible. So the point was just to match everything. And offhandedly, about 30 minutes into the game, my wife was like, oh look, I matched all my people. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And we just kept going. And you might say, hey Billy, you played the game wrong. You played the game to the point where it was impossible, and the game went longer than it said it was going to. Maybe that's why you didn't like it. Well, let me tell you, dear viewer, that it took less than 3 turns for me to realize that I did not like this game. I didn't like the fact that I didn't really have a lot to do with the dice that I have. I didn't have any way to change the dice, just to add the subtract and everything. So if I have all 6s and I don't have anything that can 6, unless I have an offering, my turn is over. I feel like it's a game where you're trying to do a whole bunch of stuff, but then I put down 2 tokens and someone blocks. I'm like, okay, well, that was my turn. Fucking cool. So we played it. When it was over, and my sister-in-law and her boyfriend, they're always good sports. They're always like, they're down to play anything, even if it sucks. And we played some sucky stuff. And this one is not good. This is not even a fine game. I do feel like there may be a good game in this box, but the game that's in this box is not a good game in this box. And I hate to say that because it's so party. It's so party. Look at this shit. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. But this cool rulebook aside, it's not very well written. It just is it's kind of a mess to get through. Also, no fault of the designer, but they have a lot of these QR codes, QVC codes, Home Shopping Network codes, and they all lead to dead videos that don't exist anymore. And that might have alleviated some of my frustrations, and there's no videos on it online. There's no rules, really. This seems like a one-and-done game and a one-and-done play. I love the artist. I think there's a decent idea in here that is not executed. Maybe I'm getting more snobby as I'm doing this. Maybe I'm just not enjoying games the way I used to. But a game that sells me on this beautiful box and these big chunkaholic dice, and then they have this idea of how you're gonna feel when you play the game. Look at that. So that's how they want you to feel. But really, at the end of the day, you're gonna feel like this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this, the latest edition of the Hard 100. If it is not clear to you, Chaos of Cthulhu is out of my Hard 100. I didn't even want to finish the game, but we did. Even playing it the right way and taking into account that, oh, the game would have been over in 30 minutes. It's never a game I want to play. Do not give me, game designers, come here, come here, come here, come here. Where are we gonna go? We're gonna go right back here. We're gonna go right back here. Come here. All right, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. If you are going to give me beautiful, big ass, hold on. If you are gonna give me these big ass, chunky dice, can you hear that up there? Oh, give me these chunky dice and limit the amount of time that I get to roll them. Ladies and gentlemen, you're wasting my fucking time. Instead, give me these beautiful, look at them. Ooh, there's a chunky. Oh, there's a chunky. I'm gonna miss this chunk. I'm gonna miss it. But then the dice you give me are those fuck nothing dice that are just green little D6s that are like Warhammer D6s. Fuck off! If you were gonna give me a thick ass die to roll, let me roll that thick ass die till I'm blue in the face. Cause then I don't feel like I've lost so much and I get to hear that clanky, clanky, clank. All day long. I hope you and yours are well. Wash your goddamn hands. Peace out.